Oh, why not, Raul? The 20th of November, of course, marks this very significant day. But a day early is definitely in need for this conversation to all go down. So why not get into it right now? Now, World Children's Day is marked every single year on the 20th of November. It's a date that commemorates the UN's promise to protect every child's right to safety, but also to education, health, and a voice in our society. And this year's theme, it's so fantastic, My Day, My Rights. It reminds us that children are not passive recipients of decisions. They, in fact, deserve to be heard in shaping their own futures. So today we're exploring how we can create spaces where children just feel seen and they feel supported. And joining us to unpack it all, we've got educator and leadership mentor Ridwan Samadine back on our couch, as well as strategic communicator and youth advocate Dorcas Dube also back. Welcome back, guys, and thank you for being here.
Good morning.
I see you got the yellow memo.
Right.
I've got some gold going. We're definitely aligned this morning. Dorcas, let's get into the theme of this year's Children's Day, all around My Day, My Rights. Now, in simple terms, what exactly does this mean for children?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. So I'd like to start off to say that Children's Day actually must be every day, right?
Agreed.
It's not about a one-day event. And in simple terms, let children be children, right? But let's hold them responsible as well as accountable. So in simple terms is that give children their rights. They've got the right to education, to nutrition, to a safe environment, to an emotionally safe home. Yeah. But I think what upholds this is that there's a constitution, there's a law that we need to abide by as citizens, that we need to uphold as society and protect these children. These are our future leaders, so we need to foster emotional support and cater for them, right? So in simple terms, let children be children, but however, hold them accountable and responsible for their actions.
Oh, I love that. Let children be children. Ridwan, you know, often I hear children should be seen and not heard, and that kind of takes away their agency. It takes away the futures that they can be creating. And you have been working in schools for over 4 decades, which is incredible. So you've seen the power that children really gain when they are empowered, rather. So what changes when adults genuinely actually listen to children rather than just having them be there but not really paying attention to them?
Yeah, before I really jump in, get there, we at Citizen Leader Lab, and good morning to you and all the listeners out there. Great to be back. We follow the philosophy of Nancy Klein, Time to Think, in which she says that the quality of everything we as human beings do depends on the quality of our thinking. She goes further to say that the quality of our thinking depends on how we are being treated while we are thinking. And in addition to that, she says the mind that holds the challenge has its own solution.
Sure.
And so when we say that children must be seen, not to be heard, we are denying them that opportunity to explore their thoughts and to really grow their own independent thinking. And so Nancy Klein says, when you pay beautiful, delicious, generative attention like you're so beautifully doing right now, then the mind really explodes in its thinking and finds its own solutions. And so having said that, when we create opportunities for children to think, and the more we create those opportunities for their brains and their mind to verbalize their thoughts, independent thinking will happen. And in so doing, the child will develop holistically, knowing that I am and I can contribute to whatever challenges face me. And so this is what we need in South Africa, children who can become independent thinker and contribute to the many vexing challenges that we face every day.
Yeah, I love what you said. The mind that holds the challenge holds the solution as well. And to your point, Dorcas, these are our future leaders that we're talking about as well. So many children, you know, they do feel their voices don't matter because of societally how we've kind of seen them, how we've handled them. So how can us as communities in different areas of South Africa really start creating these safe spaces for children to feel seen and heard?
So I think it really starts with dialogue, right? We're having a conversation right now, and this is what's supposed to happen with children as well. We cannot always be instructing or talking down to children. It starts with dialogue. Have conversations and ensure that it's a two-way street. Let the children speak as well, and you as the parent guide them in the conversations. And what we tend to forget as a society is emotional support. Our children are troubled. Support them emotionally. Ensure that you understand what is happening in the child's life on a daily basis. Have those conversations and see where you can support the children. And also, I think one important thing that we also forget about is clear expectations. What are your expectations as a parent? For instance, 40% pass rate for mathematics at a school might not be the pass rate that you expect in your home. Maybe your average pass rate, right, is 75%. So ensure that there's clear expectations so that children also know what they're working towards. So clear communication, dialogue, emotional support, and just ensure that you live in a healthy environment where children feel seen, heard, and they can also voice out their feelings. Yeah.
So let's unpack this environment, Ridwan. If all of this does get abided by the adults, the children feel safe and heard, what does that actually look like? What sort of society are we building here?
Yeah, you see, for me, my philosophy is that for too long we have denied the philosophy of Ubuntu. And so, in simple terms, I am because you are, but it's just become a cliche. I say if you take the philosophy of the indigenous people of Americas, in which they zone in on a sense of belonging, a sense of independence, a sense of mastery, and a sense of generosity. And you work in those 4 quadrants, you will see how that child develops holistically. So just talking about the rights and paying lip service for rights, yes, we can do that. But I have experience where we have brought in and try and deliberately use it as a strategy to work with each child in those quadrants to ensure that the sense of independence, the sense of mastery. And then when he has those skills, he can offer them generously. It's not about money. It's about showing up, paying forward, and taking care of each other and one another. Yeah.
And let's do that. Let's take care of our future. This is just part 1 of 2 parts of this conversation. Of course, as you can hear, Ridwan and Dorcas have so much more to say that we have to get into in light of Children's Day happening tomorrow on the 20th of November. Beautiful gems being dropped today and more to still come. Well, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso on S3. Now, earlier we explored why World Children's Day happening on the 20th of November, that's tomorrow, why it all matters and how children's voices shape healthier schools, but also healthier communities. We're now looking at practical ways that adults can in fact help children claim their rights every day, not just once a year. And Ridwan and Dorcas are still with us on our couch. Ridwan, let's come to you first and talk about what it looks like when a child actually participates in decisions. I'm really curious, once we give them that agency, what it actually unfolds to be like.
Yeah. You see, at high schools, we have the RCLs. At primary schools, we have the prefect system. But each class have what we call monitors, you know. So when you identify certain issues at the school, you know what the answers will be and the solutions will be, but you involve the children deliberately to give them that agency. So you create a space where they can think together, identify challenges like the broken toilets or the hole in the fence, etc. But the most important thing is not just to pay lip service and to let them ventilate the thoughts. You then, if you create that space, you then need to take it to the next level by actioning whatever has been agreed upon as a strategy, for example, by the kids. You could ask them, what would you change at the school to make it a better place? How can we move the school forward? So what is it that we can do together to change whatever challenge we have at our school? And so when you give them that agency and you take them as part of the solution in terms of finding and actually working physically, depending on the parameters and the challenges that you face, then they will feel that I can make a difference. I'm empowered. I matter here. And when the child feels that he or she matters, then magic happens.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are just endless.
Absolutely.
I was also part of my RCL. I was head of RCL in Matric, and I feel like that really set me up very well for the next phase of my life, because I felt like, oh, my voice matters. What I have to say, contribute, and implement is something that can be seen through from A to C, right? Dorcas, when it comes to working closely, and I know you do, with NGOs and also parents and businesses, I'm really curious about what's one practical way that each of these groups can also contribute to the conversation.
Sure. So with parents, it's very simple, right? Most parents are working towards a brighter future for their children, but they don't take time to actually have conversations with these children. So take time out of your busy schedule and have those conversations, have that dialogue, and ensure that you understand the children's fears, dreams, and their lived experiences, because those could be different from your lived experience as a parent. And when we speak about non-governmental organizations, what comes to mind is organizations like Heartshine. They are working with trauma-informed support for our children. We are quick to say we need to increase literacy and numeracy in South Africa. 82% of our children cannot read for meaning, our grade 4s. Those are shocking statistics. But then we are quick to just put a plaster on this wound and not really diving deep into the root causes. Why not form, these informed trauma support systems? Children in our public schools are in horrific situations. They need our support when it comes to trauma. So organizations like Heartshine actually foster these trauma-informed support systems. And when it comes to business, really, we need all hands-on-deck approach. So organizations like Citizen Leader Lab, we are always looking for partners, we're looking for funding for us to advance our work within the education system. So if you're a business leader watching this morning, please ensure that you contact us, and we'll gladly partner with you to become a business leader on our Leaders for Education program.
Yeah. And it takes a village to raise a kid, and everybody needs to come through. I love the fact that we've touched on parents, NGOs, businesses. Ridwan, when it comes to the schooling system, principals as well as teachers, what are sort of things that they can do in habit building when it comes to sort of making a big difference in a child's sense of belonging?
You see, for far too long, the schools have had this perceived notion that they're putting up walls. And so we used to say that the parent tossed the child over the fence in grade R and collect them in matric or in grade 7, giving this message that they're not wanted. And so when we had our first conversation with the parents, said, oh my word, I thought the principal was an alien, some kind of nerd. I never realized I could have a conversation with him. Absolutely. And so given what's happening today, we have that innate sense of wanting to belong, wanting that human connection. So here at Citizen Leader Lab, we have an offering which we call community building. And we take them through a 3-day program of how do we get them to invite the parents in, have those serious conversations about what is their role, and then asking them to offering their gifts. So when parents offer their gifts and NGOs offer their gifts, I'm talking about personal skills that they have. I can man the tuck shop, I can man the playground, I can stand at the gate, I can paint a fence, I can supervise, I can read. There's so many things. It's endless, the possibility that parents and the community can bring into the school. And so when you see this community blossom where parents are no longer seen as aliens or strangers wanting to take over the school, but partners in co-educating our children, then so many things can develop and happen at our school. And that is what we're striving to do, to bring back, like I said, this philosophy of Ubuntu, where my child is your child and your child is my child, and they are all our children. We need to break that paradigm to think that somebody else's child.
And it's not my problem, my responsibility.
Absolutely.
Sure. That is beautiful. Okay, on the last thing though, Dorcas, it is the 20th of November tomorrow. It is World Children's Day. What's one simple challenge that you want to leave with South Africans watching now today?
Thank you. I have so many, but let me try and stick to one. So when it comes to one, I think it's very simple. Listen. Take time out of your busy day and listen to your children. Have conversations with your children and ensure that you understand what they need, what their fears are, what their dreams are, and what they aspire to be. And with that, you need to follow through, right? So act. So listen and act on those follow-throughs and ensure that we build a better and brighter South Africa for all our children to flourish and thrive.
Oh, beautiful. Listen and act. That's something that I'm going to carry with me as well. Okay, we'd run one more question. Has a child taught you something in your life that you still carry with you today?
Yeah, coming back to television. So once I was on TV, and then I took very long to respond. So I asked the presenter to repeat the question. So the young man, I got back to school. Why didn't you respond immediately? Why did you still ask the question? We don't do that. It's not very good manners. So I carried that with me for a long time, that even children can correct you and guide you, and you can learn from them. And I mean, there's so many examples of how children have taught us. And so they are the wisest ones in the room, because they have no judgment, no inhibitions, and they say it as it is.
Yeah, listen to
we
the
just need
children.
to listen to the children.
And then act on top of that as well. Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining us again
Thank you
today.
for having
Ridwan
us.
Dorcas, we appreciate you and the contribution you're also making to our communities and society. We are going to continue celebrating children every day, as Dorcas said, not just on the 20th of November. It is, of course, World Children's Day. And it's a reminder that every child has a voice worth hearing and rights, of course, worth protecting. Now, when adults lead with empathy, with collaboration, as Ridwan says, children thrive and so do communities. So a heartfelt thank you to our guests today for just sharing in wisdom and passion. And we will carry that through today, especially when it comes to the passion points in the kitchen. I can't wait to get into some Filipino meals. I'm hoping adobo is on the menu because, yes, our tummies are ready for more goodness straight after this.
Oh, you can